mentioned, I haven't been in New Jersey for very long. I remember a bumper sticker that I saw in Texas, and it said, "I wasn't born in Texas, but I got here as soon as I could." So I'll just put New Jersey in there. I wasn't born here. I got here as soon as I could. My wife's from Rhode Island, which in the Oklahoma lands where I grew up and spent most of my time, it's basically the same thing as New Jersey. Everybody thinks that anything east of the Mississippi is just about the same. So we're happy to be here, and what I enjoy doing is helping people get started with genealogy, especially using the free sites. Now I have other expertise in other areas as well, but my presentations are generally targeted to those who want to get started, and I just love to see the gleam in their eyes as they get going and they say, "Oh, I got 66 million X." I know what button you hit. Yeah, my lines go back to Noah, and then they go back to Adam, and you know, some people's lines go back further than that if you were to listen to them and add them up. But no, family search is what I'm going to talk about today. And as a matter of fact, I worked a booth at the recent Worldwide Conference on Families in the Philadelphia area. You may have heard of it. Somebody very important visited on Saturday, but I didn't stay because I couldn't get back into the city. But we actually, on our booth, we actually had his, Pope Francis's genealogy charted out, which I thought was the coolest thing, and we charted it through Family Search. And of course, Family Search is run by LDS Church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Mormons. If you've ever done genealogy, you've probably heard of the Mormons. And some people ask, "Well, is this the Catholic version?" And I said, "It's genealogy." Yeah, we only, we separate Catholics from Presbyterians and Baptists when we do it all, and they all, have special letters next to their name. So, no. The research or the resource that I'm going to talk about is free. You don't have to be a member, and that is some of the confusion. We recently really, I guess it's been 2 years now, but really rejoined that connection with Ancestry.com, whereas before they'd been paying their indexers, and they didn't really want to share with us. Well, we decided that we had a whole 14 million person army of indexers, and we've indexed like 6 billion. I mean, this light up here. My daughter's done half of them. You guys done indexing? It's just the greatest thing. I sit there and watch Castle on TV, reruns, and I'll re-index at the same time. But we talk about it. People here seem to know about indexing. Is that right? Okay. Last group I spoke to at the Family Success Center was a much different group. Then I spoke to your southern colleagues at the Genealogy Society of Southern New Jerseyites. Sorry, I've lost their names, but they're really kind to me as well. Now, I understand that I have an envelope in my pocket, and I want to give that back to the organization so that you can afford a real speaker next time. All right. I'm sorry. I've been teaching all day, and sometimes I get like this, but let's get this. Wherever my clicker. All right. So this presentation presentation was created by him, who is all that and more. There's one thing about the church that I want you to know. I am a strong believer in God. I have faith in my Savior, Jesus Christ. But that's not what this presentation is about. And if you don't, that's none of my business. And it's yours. And I have complete respect and knowledge and understanding of that. And I hope that the whole world turns in that way with respect for each and every one of us. Please don't be turned off or turned away if something says LDS on it or Mormon. Obviously the funds and the process are coming from that huge genealogical center that we have in Salt Lake. But that's not the point of what we're talking about. This is free for everybody. Okay, so the role in our worldwide community, somebody had mentioned that, I think, or maybe they titled it, How We're Going to Build This Family Tree, the Worldwide Family Tree. Well, you know, how do you eat an elephant? Never did. Yeah, one bite at a time, right? You know what I'm talking about. And then two of you might have the same lines, but, you know, you just have a little bit of a disagreement when Aunt Edna was born and died. So there's got to be room for that as well. So what does this worldwide community with a worldwide church as well as friends like yourselves do? Well, we've got records, we've got leadership expertise and standards, and a large organization. We regularly scan books and lineage databases. We provide research assistance. Now, while I was going to be really tricky in what you were saying, pointing at you, get a German record that wanted to be translated, I went online to the help desk there at the Salt Lake Family History Center, and I was hoping to get somebody online because they have language support and people there, and I was going to like say, hey, let me see that, take a picture of it real quick. But that is one of the areas of which I don't think people are completely aware or understand. We'll get to the FamilySearch.org site here in a moment. But we have volunteers, missionaries, volunteers. They're not proselyters, they're volunteers. I'm not sure if they're 24 hours a day, but if you have a question or want to search something very specific, if they don't know, they can point you to the researcher, the record people who might know. I'm not going to suggest that they know as much about the New Jersey, what did you call it? I really love that. Fight for food. Food fight. When the Hessians are looking for the food. However, maybe so. So we have the largest genealogical organization in the world. It is nonprofit, completely volunteer driven. Okay, here's the sponsorship there. So what is FamilySearch? Well, we employ nearly 1,000 people full time. Very big, very big. It's like, do a lot of area studies with respect to Norway and China and India, places that have basically been, I won't say ignored, but there's a lot of work to do in those areas. Anxiously engaged in micrographics and digital imaging, we'll talk about that. Trying to create the latest computer technology that people can actually use. And archival and library science, and then looking at the history. So that is a general look at what it is. History, Genealogical Society of Utah is where it started, way back in the 1800s. This is the center now. This is Granite Mountain. If you've heard of Granite Mountain Vault, it's pretty darn cool. They cut the inside of a granite mountain out and they put records in there. They just keep stuffing records in there. The only is there's more records in there than we have people to index. So we're really trying to catch up. We've got more digitized records and microfiche records than we have people that can come and index them. So one of these days, our armies of indexers will catch up, and that'll be really cool. And I think the youth, that's the generation. My daughter has got 12,000 points. You know, 1 point for an easy index, 5 points for a tough one. I've got like 12 points. She's got a 99% arbitration rate, mine's 67%. I'm just throwing out some numbers here, but I really think the more we can get, you know, if we had this room halfway full of high school kids that really knew this technology and how to get it going. Okay. Oh, the indexing initiative started in 1922 with, of course, all the microfiche and everything. So, in this slide shows a little dated. It's 10 months old, which is dated in family history. But we catch over 8 million hits a day on Family Search. We've got 3 million registered users. 1,400 record collections, and we add them regularly as soon as we get them indexed. Again, it's free. So there are, as I tell people who search for the records, oh, I can't find Grandma Laster, came over from Norway, and she was divorced, and she was adopted, and then she went to India. You know the story. So you may have one yourself. I said, would you check this week? Isn't that true? So we have in the site over 3 billion searchable names. It's come actually a long way. Here, oh, it was painful. They put out this new, they called it New Family Search. You guys remember New Coke? They didn't give you any method or way if you were disagreeing with somebody to kind of state that you were disagreeing a little bit with somebody and it got a little messy. That's not the course now. Yeah, here's a tree and Family Search. You've seen that. That's not too exciting. Now, I love this. Finding allies, building alliances. Never read the book. No, know those guys. But the point being is when you've got a major problem, even between people who aren't necessarily going to work together or in the same clubs or cliques, they have the same problems. They own them. They can respond to their own interests and other people's interests, creating alliances, finding the existence of the intersections, and become collaborators. It is when they discover that the LDS Church couldn't do it on their own, Ancestry.com couldn't do it on their own, a society like this couldn't do it on their own, Daughters of the American Revolution. Everybody realized to build this worldwide tree was going to take more than just a casual communication. So this is the book that says, you know, hey, we all have these common points of pain. Let's get it together and let's try to work through them. And one of the things, well, it's expensive, but it involves the surrender of independence that nobody wants to do. You know, I want to own those records. These are mine. So when we're building a worldwide